If you are looking for the perfect drink to serve children during children's parties or even catering for one, then this is the video to watch. Today, I am going to share with you the recipe for making crunchy Milo Fudge Boba for smaller cups, perfect for young kids. Hello and welcome back. Thank you once again for joining me. If you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, click that subscribe button below. We talk about everything coffee, milk tea, chocolate. We also talk about how you can start a business with very little investment, and also I share a lot of recipes that you can use for your business or just simply to make at home. What do you need to make these drinks? If you're making this for business, I would suggest that you use a scale. This will make sure that all the ingredients you use are consistent and that the taste of each cup is uniform. I would suggest that you also use a spoon to mix your fudge. You don't need to use any special gadget like a mixer, a spatula, or anything like that. A spoon is perfect. You also need a bowl or a saucepan. I'm using a saucepan here. Gadgets that you probably would already have at home except for a scale. If you're making this for home, you might skip the scale. You can use a measuring cup, measuring spoon, or you can use my shot glass. This is 60 milliliters or 2 ounces. For the ingredients, we need evaporated milk or fresh milk if you don't have access to evaporated milk. We also need condensed milk. We need Milo because this is a Milo Fudge, but if you prefer to use Ovaltine, you can replace Milo with Ovaltine. For those without access to Milo, you can use Cadbury. I love Cadbury. And because this is a crunchy Milo Fudge, we are going to top our drink with Cocoa Crunch, crushed Cocoa Crunch. This should be easy enough to find in your supermarket. And because this is a boba, I'm going to add some tapioca pearls at the bottom. Finally, for the supplies, you need the cups and the boba straws. These are all you need to make this amazing crunchy Milo Fudge Boba. Let's start by making our Milo Fudge. I'm going to take you through the process step by step. So I'm going to use my scale. And then I'm using my saucepan here, tare to 0, and then I'm going to use 100 grams of my Milo powder. Make sure it is not the 3-in-1 variety, otherwise it will be too sweet. Add 1 whole can of condensed milk. Now the size of this condensed milk is about 370 grams. So scrape everything out of your can just to make sure you don't waste anything here. Okay? And then now, this is a total of about 470 grams. Stir this mixture. This time I am not going to add any water. We'll only add water if your mixture becomes too thick that it is no longer pourable. Stir until the powder is fully incorporated into the condensed milk. Now this is the texture that I'm looking for. This is perfect. This is one batch. You can make a bigger batch. Now if you make a bigger batch, you can use a bigger saucepan and you also need to use a bigger spoon. But for this one batch, I am going to aim to make 7 12-ounces cups. For those that are wondering if you can make this in advance, yes you can. You can refrigerate this mixture, but bear in mind that it will harden and you probably need to take it out of the refrigerator at least half an hour before you start preparing your drinks. To assemble the drink, I am going to use the scale. This time, I'm not using any measuring cups or spoons, so I'm using the scale to make sure that everything is consistent. I'm going to start by putting my tapioca pearls. This is about 75 grams of my tapioca pearls there. This time, I'm not using a crushed ice, and I want to show you that it can also work, although the trick to the success of this drink is using crushed ice. I need about 60 milliliters. I'm just going to add more ice there, and then I'm going to put 60 grams of my Milo Fudge. Milo can be a little bit sweet, so do not use too much. And then I'm going to top this up with my crunchy Cocoa Crunch. Okay? I'm going to be very generous here. And there we have our first cup of 12 ounces for Ice Crunchy Milo Fudge Boba. Now that I've made one, I'm now going to do a mass assembly. Don't you think they look absolutely delightful? I'm sure the children will love them. I love Milo. I even have Milo on its own without any hot water at all. Well, if you don't have Cocoa Crunch or Milo cereals that you can crush, you can also put just Milo powder on top of this drink, making it like a Milo dinosaur, but with boba and also a fudge instead of a lava. Okay? This one should be less sweet. Now you have to be careful about how much Milo fudge you put here, because Milo, even though they say it's unsweetened, it is quite sweet. Okay, let me just give it a try. Tastes like Milo and Cocoa Crunch. Yes, it's not so sweet. It is sweet, but not very sweet. I think it's just perfect. I love this size, 12 ounces, perfect for kids. And if you are anxious about having a lot of sugar in your drink, then I would say go for the smaller cup sizes. But if you'd like to be able to share it among friends, then you can go for that 1 liter size. If you're going to make this for business, let's look at the costing. For one batch, you have to consider the Milo powder that you use, which is 100 grams, 1 can of condensed milk, and that's really it. And then your boba, your ice, your evaporated milk, and then the crunchy on top as the cost, and divide it by 7, and you should be able to calculate the cost per cup. Now what about pricing? For the pricing, it really depends on your area, depends on how much other shops are selling. And if you have to just base it on your costing, then I would suggest that you multiply your cost by at least 3 times, because you should not forget that there are also costs for overhead like your electricity, water, gas, telephone, and also your fixed costs like staff and rent if you are renting a space to sell these drinks. So that's about all I would like to share with you today. If you have any questions, do let me know. Don't forget to click that subscribe button for more of this video clip. Also check out my book, All Things Milk Tea, where you'll find lots of recipes that you can use for home and also for business. In the meantime, stay tuned, stay safe. Thank you for watching. Ciao for now.